Hey YouTube, it's me, it's Bob. How do you like my smile? I really like it. I'm just so happy with these things. Um, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my denture journey and what I had to go through, excuse me, to get to the point where I can eat corn nuts and bite through almonds and so on and so forth. Um, I went to Aspen Dental here in Omaha back in early December of 2017 to have my have my teeth looked at. Now, they were really bad, really bad. And the dentist and I both agreed that it was time for dentures. I mean, there was no getting around it. So about December 23rd, a couple days before Christmas, I went in to have extractions done. So I sat down in a chair. I had a friend of mine go with me. I sat down in the chair and asked the dentist what he was going to do. And he basically said that he was going to pull the teeth. He had a couple of bone spurs he had to grind down. And he had to cut through my gums and pulverize a couple of wisdom teeth that I didn't know I had on the bottom. They were underneath the gum line and never bothered me. Well, Mama didn't raise no fool. So I stood up and I said, I really think I want to be put under for this. Really. And he agreed that was probably the right thing to do. So I went up front and it cost me an additional $3,000 for the oral surgeon to come in and actually pull my teeth. Now the total bill came to $13,000. Now, I don't have dental insurance, so that's out of pocket. That's on a credit card. Credit cards. So January 5th of 2018, I went in, had a friend of mine go with me again, sat down in the chair. The guy put the needle in my arm, and I don't remember nothing. I do remember coming out of the anesthesia, and he's grinding on the wisdom tooth in the back. He's pulverizing it, and I went right back out. I guess he saw me coming out of it and turned the gas back on or whatever he did. And the next thing I know, I remember him sewing me up, and I went right back out. And an hour and 45 minutes later, I have no teeth. I have a toothless grin, and I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. So a friend of mine brings me home. We stopped off at Walgreens, first of all. Walgreens or CVS? One of the two, I don't remember. And I'm sitting in the front of his car, and I'm bleeding, and I have to open the door so I don't get any blood on the seat or anything else. So I'm sitting there in the parking lot. I have my head down, and it's a non-stop scream. That's how bad I was bleeding. So we got back to the house, back to the apartment here, and he stayed with me for about 5 hours, kept telling me to go to bed. I couldn't go to bed. I mean, I had no pain. They shot me up and all that other happy crap, but I had no pain. And he did give me a prescription for oxycodone, which we filled, and it didn't do too much for me. All it did was put me to sleep. So I would generally take one right before I went to bed. So I had gauze, a roll of gauze in my mouth at first, and when I took the gauze out, I noticed that there were dark spots on it. And the only thing I can guess is that the blood was starting to clot. However, when I took the gauze out, I was pulling the beginnings of the clot out. And I just said to hell with it. And I stood over the sink, and I bled, and I bled, and I bled, and started swallowing it. So the next day, after extraction, I'm going to show you some pictures of what I looked like. I'm not going to show you pictures of my gums. I'm not going to show you any blood. I'm not going to show you any of that, but basically what I look like. And I have to move the camera for this. But this is me the day after extractions. Now I have no gauze in my mouth. I have no padding. That is pure swelling. Ain't that nice? You can also see that the beginnings of bruising setting in. I'm starting to turn purple. This is day 2 after extraction, and it's really starting to turn purple. It's starting to get really bad. The swelling is still there. I mean, I had like a 3rd and 4th chin in addition to my normal 2. But this is what it looked like. This is the same day as the previous picture, just a head-on of what I look like, and the discoloration is really starting to come in. This is about day 5 maybe, and I've just turned purple, and on this day I had to go to the grocery store because I had run out of food to eat, mashed potatoes and soup and stuff like that. And I tried to keep my head down and so people wouldn't stare at me, but a couple of them did anyway. Kind of embarrassing, but you got to do what you got to do. Then this is day 6. This was day 6. This is like day 7 maybe. And I took this picture because the purple had started to turn to red. It started to go away, but it's still deeply, deeply purple, as you can tell. This is bruising, or whatever that was, on my chest. And it got a lot worse than that. It actually turned a very dark purple and went down about another 6 inches, right above my stomach. And this is about day 10 maybe. The bruising is starting to go away. The discoloration is going away. The swelling is going down. But I'm still not able to put my dentures in because I have a lot of bad swelling inside my mouth still. Then this is about day 13. The discoloration is going away. It's starting to clear up. The swelling is down a lot. And you can see that the discoloration, although you can't tell from this video, but I can tell by looking at the original picture that the swelling is, or the discoloration is down about 60%. Then this is Saturday. This is day, let's see, Friday, this is about day 14. I'm finally able to put my dentures in my mouth. They are not glued in, but the swelling was down enough that I put them in just to see what I would look like. And this is my first day back at work. The dentures are glued in, but you can tell that there's just a little bit of swelling on the left-hand side there because the bottom denture sits up higher on the left than they do on the right. But I was still able to go in. I took a soup with me, so I didn't try to eat anything that day. And then this is Wednesday. This is my 2nd day back at work, 3rd day back at work. And on this day, I went and I bought a bag of Cheetos just to see if I could chew them. And I could. And the crunch was wonderful. And at that point, that night, I had fried chicken and corn on the cob, and I have not looked back. Now, I went to the dentist probably a good 7, 8, 9 times after extraction because of bone spurs. They were very painful. They were floating out. And when I put my immediate denture in, the pressure of the denture against the gum was pushing against the bone spur, bone shard coming out. And it was painful. The only thing I could chew on that side of my mouth was mashed potatoes, spaghetti, crap like that. And it had to be real soft. So I went back to the dentist, I guess, about every 3 or 4 days for him to pull more of these bone things out. But once the bone spurs were done, then I was able to chew pretty normally. Now, the thing with immediate dentures is they do not fit your gums. All they are the dentist's best guess on where your gum line is going to be. And I had a large gap between the denture and my gum that was getting bigger every day because of gum shrinkage. And I had to fill the trough in with a mighty amount of Fixodent. I also had to do the same thing on the top. I was going through more than a full tube a week of that stuff because of the amount of glue I had to use. I would glue in my bottom denture at 5:30 in the morning. I had to re-glue it at 10:30. I had to re-glue it after lunch. Then I would come home and take it out, leave my top denture in, and right before I ate dinner, I'd glue the bottom denture back in again. I could have eaten soft stuff, but at that time my gums were still healing, and I wanted to get used to the dentures. I wanted to get used to my new normal. Eventually, at the end of July, 6 months later, I got my permanent dentures, so I went back to the dentist. I guess it was early July 2nd or something like that. And they had to do the wax try-ins and line them up and all that other happy crap. And I didn't actually get my full dentures till about July 26th. And I got used to them almost immediately. I had to use just a little bit of adhesive, just dots on the top and the bottom to hold them in. And I waited about 3 months, and I went back in and I got a hard reline, which ran me about $450, $460, something like that. And the next day I put in denture fit, and I have been adhesive free ever since. The denture fit has not come out. It's not even beginning to come out unless one day I wake up and just it flops out. So it's going on 6 months with the same application of denture fit. And I have amazing suction on the top and the bottom. If I pull the bottoms out, I don't know if you can hear this suction or not, but that's the suction on the bottom, and this is the suction on the top. They're not suctioned in real well right now because I haven't eaten anything to actually push them into place. But the point is that I don't need adhesive. Man, is that a nice feeling. It's been a long journey. I've had my ups and downs. I've had pain, but never once did I throw my hands up and say, why did I do this? You know, dentures they're a different animal. You get used to them. It becomes your new normal. And you have to have an upbeat, positive attitude with them, because if you have a defeatist attitude that you're not going to like them, then by God, you're not going to like them. So my attitude was, hey, it's my new normal. I can eat corn nuts. I remember my sister telling me, your days of eating apples are over. Well, not really, because I went out and I bought a Red Delicious apple, very hard, very crispy, very juicy, very sweet, and I ate it like a normal. I just put it up and I ate it. Now, granted, the bites are smaller. The bites are smaller than with real teeth, but the concept is the same. I was still able to eat that apple without cutting it into pieces. That being said, the way I normally eat a Red Delicious apple, even when I had my real teeth, was to cut it into fours, put a little salt on it, and you think you done died and gone to heaven. I mean, it is just delicious. It's very good. So I wear my dentures every day when I go to work. Excuse me. And as soon as I'm off work and I get out to the truck, they come out because it just feels so darn good for them to come flying out of my mouth. I'm on pretty much a soft diet anyway, so spaghetti, and I make a really good, and I made some today, chicken vegetable noodle soup with corn and peas and green beans and garlic and onion and a little of this and a little of that, and it turns out really well. So when I had my real teeth, I could go through the motions of chewing. I had no teeth on the bottom on the left or the right. And if I was eating something as spaghetti or whatever, I would go through the motions of chewing. And then if I swallowed, I was basically swallowing it whole. If I wanted to chew it, I had to chew with my front teeth. And because your front teeth are made for tearing and not for chewing, my front teeth on the bottom flattened out like an aircraft carrier. I mean, they were just as flat could be. And I always wondered when I was eating corn on the cob, how many teeth am I going to lose today? If I would try to eat a crunchy snack, it was always, well, was that the crunch from the snack or was that the crunch from a tooth? And I don't have to worry about that anymore. On weekends, I normally don't wear my dentures. They come out on Friday afternoon. They don't go back in normally until Monday morning, and I have to, for an hour or so, relearn how to talk and get used to them again. I don't like to eat with dentures, and that sounds really weird for somebody who has dentures, but I just think it doesn't change the flavor of the food, but it just tastes better because you're using taste buds all over your mouth instead of just on your tongue. It's been a long journey. It's been an adventure, but it is my new normal. I can't change it. If I could go back and take care of my teeth, I would, but back when I should have been taking care of my teeth, I had to worry about keeping a roof over my kid's head. So it was either I have nice teeth and we all live on the street, or they've got a house and a warm bed and food in their stomach, and I do without fixing my teeth. And it is what it is. I can't go back and change it. But that's a little bit about my journey. I'm going to have some more videos I'm going to put up here in a couple of days. I just want to think about what I want to say next. But that's a little bit about what I've been through. It's been easy for me to throw up my hands and say, I'm tired. I'm not going to worry about dentures. I'm just not going to wear them. But I like my smile. It's nice to be able to smile. It's nice to be able to laugh without covering the mouth, and it's nice to not have to put my head down, and it's nice to not have to worry about whether or not those two cracked teeth in the back are putting out a stink when I talk to somebody. And it's a relief. It's a new beginning, and I'm damn glad I did it. And if I had to do it over again, I'd take care of my teeth. But if I didn't take care of my teeth, I would have no problem getting dentures. So that's a little bit about me and my story. And if anybody has any questions, put them in. I got to get used to this. Put them in the. There you go, right there. Put them in the comments, and I'll answer them. But I hope everybody has a great day. And here today it's like 73 degrees outside, and I understand we might have a bunch of snow coming by the end of the week, next week. So it's time to enjoy the day. You guys have a great day, and I will talk at you later.